women are taught to hold pain in their bodies with dignity, and when we fail to do that, we are called names like we are not women enough or something of the sort. Hi, I'm Roving. Welcome to Roving through books, and today we'll be discussing Inconceivable by Sinead Wade. Let's get into it. For some reasons, I'm able to connect with women that want children. Like, I find them to be very relatable. I remember a few years back, I wrote a poem on a woman who had a child, and the child was a stillbirth, and an author had to tell me, oh, she's sorry for the experience, and I was like, oh, that never happened to me, it's just fiction. That's to tell you how much I connect with these people. But when I read Inconceivable by Sinead Wade, it let me know that yes, you can connect with someone, but not enough to feel their pain. Like, yes, I am able to relate with them just a little bit, but there are still things peculiar to wanting a child and not having it that I do not understand because it is not my experience. And when I read Inconceivable, I was so easily brought to my knees. It was such a very emotional experience, and I like that Sinead's sense of humor shown through the book, because there's a particular joke right now that's running through my head, and it was so funny. It was so funny. Imagine it being so funny that even like a few days after reading it, I can still remember the joke. It wasn't even really a joke. She was just explaining something about menopause and how it makes the vagina no man's land. Oh my gosh. If you read it, you'll get it, by the way. I think one of the very important things she discusses is that pain is something that people think should be a part of a woman's life. With time, I realized that, oh, this is not normal. It is not normal to have painful periods. It is a condition described as dysmenorrhea. If you have dysmenorrhea, you should see a doctor. You should go for tests, go for ultrasound, so they will know what exactly is wrong with you. In Sinead's case, that was what she had. In fact, she had painful periods, and people dismissed it. They were like, well, women have painful periods. Maybe yours is just extra painful, but it doesn't mean that it requires medical attention, which is wrong. It is very wrong. I mean, the fact that there are painful periods and there are painful periods. Like, there's the kind of painful periods you have that just by merely looking at you, they'll know that, oh, this is a case that requires medical attention. And there are some people periods that, yes, you'll be like, oh, it's not that bad, blah, blah, blah. You can still package and all of that. But generally, But yes, when she was writing this book, she mentioned that, as at that time, research was even terrible. Like, as at now, there's more information available as when you are having cases of endometriosis. But then it was just not there. Do you understand? So it was a whole lot difficult to navigate. And I'm grateful, like, yes, there is development, even though it's small development, but it's better than before. It also understates the importance of having healthcare providers that care for you. Now, in my last review where I was talking about small by small, I said that there have been some nice doctors and some terrible doctors. She mentions one of them. I think in the book he's called Dr. Terrible or something. He is that terrible. I mean, a woman is talking to you about her health concerns and you're just dismissing it like it's normal. And it's a very common thing. In fact, it was a low-key surprised that, oh, this is even a universal practice. It is not just in Nigeria where you are a woman, you are discussing your health concerns and people are dismissing it. So I was a little bit taken aback because I was like, here too. But yeah, we saw that irrespective of countries, irrespective of where you're coming from, there's a tendency of people to dismiss whatever is going through you or whatever you're going through because you are a woman. And it's a very painful thing because this is my experience. My experience is valid, but you're saying, oh, because I'm a woman, it is not valid, which is very bad. Another thing she talks about, and I will not say talk about particularly, is that it challenged my notions on what love is supposed to be. So a while back, my standpoint of romance used to be, oh, you're perfect by Colleen Hoover, yeah, because of the way her husband stood by her. And something similar happened and I was like, oh, that was fiction, this is real life. I think I like this better. But I saw the way he acted and I was like, but I realized that beyond acts of service, there's a way a person that truly loves you would love you. And you girls can't read this book because she's like, if you're in a relationship where you're not sure, please just pack yourself and go. Or you have to beg a man to love you. auntie, sister, please wrap it up, wrap it up. So yeah, those were one of the many things that stood out to me. In fact, I remember telling my friend like, I really like this book, blah 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 blah, and we were just yapping. I just told her some major parts of the introduction that I really liked. I think one thing about books like this is they tell you that this is the reality of some women, and it makes you know that, oh, there are some things you should not say to people that are expecting children. There are things you should not say. Like, to you, it is not a trigger because you are not in their shoe. I remember earlier on I said that, oh, I was able to relate with them. But this book showed me that, yes, I was able to relate with them. But I was definitely not in their shoes, so I did not know their triggers, right? So when I read this, I was able to identify, like, oh, saying certain things like this could be triggers. I may not mean to trigger them. Like, it may not be my intention, definitely. But it is. And I realized that, yes, I did not think it was going to be a trigger, but according to the book, the person's mom thought it was a trigger. So it makes me ask so many questions. Like, I mean, I have to sit down with myself and ask myself some questions, because why were you thinking that wasn't going to be a trigger? I mean, I know, like, I have asked someone that question before, or those questions, but I just thought, well, you know, like, to me it was a normal thing. There was nothing wrong with it, and I apologize to all the people that I have thought that way. I think also that women struggle with fertility, they need a support group, because it's a very harrowing and lonely experience. We don't talk about how it feels like when you see your period and you're like so enraged, so mad, like, what is this? And that's why I feel like they need a support group. Now, I don't know if that's what they would desire, because these experiences are very personal, and some people would not want to share it because of how personal it is. Or maybe they are not even sharing their experience, but just someone that, a group of people that understands, oh, this is what we're going through, so that I feel encouraged. But then the downside is that if someone gets pregnant and, well, other people are still waiting, I don't know if that's a good idea, but anyway, I'm just putting it out there. Also, I like the progression of the story. I mean, it was just flowing, and you guys, I cried. See, I don't know why, but I really like books that make me cry. Maybe it's because there's a way they connect with my emotions that I have probably not been able to speak of properly, but I like this book. And that's all for me for Inconceivable by Sinead Wade. Bye, see you later.